ACEOs, otherwise known as art card, editions and originals. They are 2.5 by 3.5 inches in size, and generally they have a title on the back, the name of what it is on the front, and they are dated and signed. So this is when I used to do painted ones. This one's a watercolour one, and this one's abstract acrylic paint. But today I thought I'd show you something even more original, which are the Collage ACEOs, which I've had a lot of fun making. I believe I showed excuse me, this one the other day, and these were from images printed out from a copyright-free site on the internet. So I cut out this detail of this, I think it's a rat's face here with a little hand, and I just cut out organic shapes and layered them up in a pleasing manner to make a composition that I was happy with. The only thing I don't like about this is after I'd glued them down with a glue stick, like so, I went over with a sponge type brush with a matte medium, and it's left these kind of lines. I don't think you can see it on the camera, like a plastic lined effect, but that's to stop the paper from lifting up. Well, I've done it on that one and also on this one, but I won't be doing that again. I'm not happy with it. It started to lift the paper up as well and left a very strange plasticky texture. So I think going forward I won't do that. I will just use paper stuck with a glue stick, and that way you can also feel the texture of the paper lifting up from the, well, not lifting up, but you can feel the slightly raised edge of the paper that's laid on top. So I've been using copyright-free images and cutting them up. For years I'm known for cutting out these kinds of organic shapes. These organic shapes here, like so. Some people say they're similar to Matisse, but I don't think I knew who Matisse was when I started doing them. But anyway, so I like to just draw on the back an organic shapes like so. I'll show you. Say for example on this image here, where's my pen? Here's my pen. I'll use this one. Okay, so on here for example, I will just do, let's do it this way around. I will go like something like that, and then there's the scissors. I'll cut it out, and the important thing to remember about when you're cutting out paper is to move the paper rather than the scissors. So obviously you move the scissors a little bit when you're going forward like that, but then when you get to curves you keep the scissors where they are and you just turn the paper like so, and up to the curve again. Doesn't matter that I'm not going over the line exactly because it's on the other side. And then up here to the curve, turn the paper, keep the scissors still, and then you can move the scissors again a little bit. And cutting paper is one of my most favourite things to do, and that's where I started this channel about, I think it's about 4 years ago now. I don't know if I've still got those videos up or if I made them private, I can't remember. But anyway, this is my first love, which is cutting paper. So now I'm left with the negative and the positive shape. And what I normally do is I cut out various shapes and then I assemble them on the card. Like on here, I'd cut out various shapes and arrange them on the card, and then when I get a pleasing arrangement, a nice composition, I stick them down. I mean, here you can use this shape here somewhere, for example. You could stick it up there, and then this one you could, my hands are shaking today for some reason. You could stick that here. You just play about till you get an image that you're happy with. And yeah, so recently I've been making these little experiments, little ACEOs. First of all, I started out with these copyright-free images, just cutting out random shapes or organic shapes and gluing them down. And then I went for a tree-like structure. So there's a trunk, and then this is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4 overlapping teardrop shapes. And then I went on to making a more realistic scene, like a landscape with a cottage here. I think that's a, I don't know if you can see that, they're a bird cut out of a different piece of paper. And then just layered up hills, what looks like a horizon line there, and clouds and sky. So I'm quite happy with that one. A bit different to what I usually do, but I thought, oh well, we're here to experiment and see how far we can push ourselves and what we can do. And then this one isn't finished yet. It was like a moon, or I don't know if it's a sun or a moon face. And I've just started building up layers of what looks like sea, but I don't know if that's actually finished or where else I can go with that one. Anyway, I haven't got many of these ACEO, get it right in a minute, ACEO cards, which as I said are 2.5 by 3.5 inches. So I cut up some I think it was watercolour paper to do this work on. And as I've run out of, well, I've got a couple of cards. I've just got a couple of cards here to use. I thought what would be a good idea to do is carry on experimenting by cutting up a piece of card. This isn't actually very accurate. Anyway, it's roughly 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And I've used it as a template in my sketchbook to put down, draw around the edge. So I'm actually doing these little collage compositions inside the sketchbook now. And what's good is I can play around in here, and if I find something I particularly like, a nice composition or whatever, or combination of colours, then I can take that idea and apply it to an ACEO. Oh, one other thing, there's a confusion sometimes between ACEOs and ATC cards. And the art card editions and originals are generally the artist's artwork. And like I say, they're usually watercolours or acrylic paintings. And they can be collage, but you don't see that as much. And also, they are, you can sell them ACEOs. But traditionally, ATC cards, which are artist trading cards, are generally just traded. And they're more along the line of crafting, where people use their rubber stamps or craft materials, things like that. And generally they're made, same thing is where you put your name, date and title of the piece of work on the back, but they're generally just traded, where there's no money exchanged, you just trade the card. And sometimes people work in a series or do a batch of the same image over and over again, where, well, in this case, with what I'm doing, is there won't ever be two cards the same. Every card is original. And I think that's all I wanted to share with you today. other than saying I've now got this other, I've cut out this really lovely fish image, and I think I'm going to use this fish, the big fish, and cut some organic shapes out of the big fish and put that on there with the little fish coming down. And I'm really enjoying doing this. I think actually I might prefer doing it in the sketchbook to actually doing it on the cards. But anyway, so I'll carry on with this, and I'll come back if I have anything additional to share with you.